Hi, welcome to DTS Tech Fit. So today we're going to be going through Unit 3, Digital Portfolio, and we're working on Assignment 1. This video will only cover P1 and P2. If you have not subscribed to us, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. Yes, I'm talking to you, and share us out. Let's get to it. For this section, we will be covering the following activities. You can read it, I'm not going to read it out. So these are the activities you need to complete to actually pass the assessment. The justification, however, that's a part of the distinction. We're not going to be covering that for this video. However, this is a summary of all of what we need to do. Let's define the purpose of the project. For this assessment, you need to define the purpose of the digital portfolio for P1. So we're going to go through this in more details in the next section of the video. This section gives you a synopsis of the scenario. So you're going to have a read of this and you need to pay key attention to the sections that and the keywords that are used in this part of the video. So you want to ensure that you have connected, recruits, you're an IT apprentice. So all of these you need to include in your introduction as well as your purpose. For the purpose, I've given you an example of how this can be written up. This is only a guide. I have written it and I'm saying it. It's sample. It's a sample for you to use as a guide. So please refrain from actually giving me back the same work. If you have a look at it, it will just give you an example of the different sections to be included in the purpose. So have a read of it and use it as a guide. You will also need to define the audience of your digital portfolio. Who are your audiences? Let's get to the next section because in that section we're going to talk about it a bit more. So as you can see here, some of the people that you need to impress for the main audience for this section is going to be the employers, because you're filling in an application and they have required that you actually create a digital portfolio. So they're the main audience. Others you might think of or might write up about as well are the teachers, especially if you're thinking of progressing to the next level. So you might have teachers, you might have other educators that are interested in looking at what you have done so far, your experience, and your coursework that you have completed, how well you have completed it, any sort of design, any website that you have created, how you did with those all reflect your skills. So these are some of the things that employers will be looking at, or prospective employers, including prospective colleges if you are going into that route. You will always hear me say only use this as a guide. So this is what we're gonna do, use it as a guide. So I have circled here, as you can see, I have circled the different audiences that you might write about. This is just a guide, so you need to put your own spin on it. You need to read it and use it to help you to complete your task. Now that we have completed P1, we now need to move on to P2. These are the different sections of P2 that you will need to complete. You need to ensure that you tick off each sections, because if you don't complete any of these sections, it means that you have failed this assessment. You need to actually draw up a storyboard to reflect what you want your website to look like, or your digital portfolio pages, what it's going to look like. You need a structure chart. You also need a timeline for the project. You need a list of ready-made assets as well. And finally, you will need detailed designs for a digital portfolio. So you need a design for that as well. So be careful not to leave out any of these sections. So this is one of the first tasks you need to complete for P2, because we need to start a timeline so we can plan the different phases of the project. As you can see on here, a timeline usually have a start date. You need to give it a start date. Also, you need to have a description of the different tasks that you'll be completing, including the duration. Is it going to be 1 hour? Is it going to be 30 minutes? Is it going to be 2 hours? Is it going to be a day? So you need to plan each phase of the project, because essentially this is a project for you. And then you need to say what date you will complete it by. Okay, what date you'll be completing it. The timeline has a start date, so if you start, you need to finish. So we have a start date. This is the different section, or the next section of the timeline, and I have given you an end date for this. So as you can see, the different sections you will need to add to that. So have a look at it. We will discuss it further as well, but fill it out as you go. You can actually change dates and time because it's a work in progress, but give it a start date and a planned end date. I've given you different examples of what the structure chart or navigational chart might look like. So the layout, these are layouts that are acceptable. Please ensure that you have a look at the different layout, and let me have a look at what you have completed so that I can confirm whether or not you're on the right track. So I've given you two different types of layout. This is the next one. So as you can see, it's laid out in a different format, different structure. So pay key attention to these. This is the storyboard. So this is an example of the storyboard, or what it could look like. Please have a look at it. You need to design it first. You can either design it in Word, or you may also use PowerPoint. It's up to you. But you can design it before, then you will have this template which I will send out to you guys, so you can use this template. Please ensure to fill in the different sections. As you can see, this learner did not fill in all of the sections that needed to be filled in. So please pay keen attention to the different sections of the template. This means that if you add more details, it means that you are actually working at a higher level. This is the next page. I am not going to go through it. Have a look at it and use it as a guide. This section of the task includes the assets list. So as you can see on here as well, it's a sample. Yes, it's a sample. So have a look at how it's organized, how the information is displayed on here, and use it as a guide. Remember to include your sources. So if you get it from online, you need to add the URL to where you got that file or where you downloaded that image from. You also need to say you can signpost to where you have that information stored. So as you can see on here, it says school camera used to take picture. You can say where you actually have it stored as well. And this is just an example to say how it has been created or designed. For M1, you'll need to explain the changes for your alternative design. So why have you changed it? What have you changed? So briefly explain these. I won't be going through all of these slides. I'm just gonna ensure that you have a sample on here for you to use as a guide as to how to complete this part of the assessment. So you remember you have GCSEs here. So if you're not currently working on GCSEs, these are only examples. So you don't need to actually use the specific terms or the specific words in here. And you need to relate it to the actual subjects that you are currently sitting. You need to explain to the audience why it's suitable. So you're explaining why the portfolio is suitable for the specific audience and the purpose. Why is it suitable? And remember, the audience is connected. Again, I won't be reading through these. Just ensure that you have the appropriate information to explain why it's suitable for the audience and suitable for the purpose. Continuing on here as well. So how the asset helps the web page work. So you need to give an explanation of these as well. I have cropped the images, so it's just explaining how he has actually designed the images or how he's edited the images. So have a look at it, have a read of it, and only use it as a guide. So for this stage, this is a distinction stage, and now you're going to justify all that you have done so far in the design stage. I won't be reading it. So as you can see, it goes to explain and justify. Not explain for this one is the higher order thinking. So you're justifying why your design is suitable, and you're justifying every element of your design. And this is just a final section. So you need to relate everything to what you are currently doing. Ensure that everything that you are doing is documented in here, and you are working to your distinction, because you need to get a distinction for your core unit as we have explained. So I hope this helps. Please use as a guide and ensure you add the appropriate information. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to us. DTS Tech Fit here. See you in my next video.